Good afternoon, Paridi. Good afternoon, Sanya.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Um,
Good, beta. A chapter is finished. Now we're going to start with a new chapter. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, flow charts are left.
What, Sana?
Ma'am, flow
Good
chart.
afternoon, ma'am.
That you can make in homework and send them to me later. Okay?
Excuse
Okay, ma'am.
Is there a? So a very interesting chapter we have to begin with, kids. Please be ready with your books. Open chapter number 8 of history, religious ideas in the medieval period.
Mom, but you told this chapter is
Open.
we have to read it by ourselves and make the project on it.
Not this one, the next one, the culture one.
Yes, sorry.
Ma'am, open.
Ready? Shall we get started?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Manjeeri, can you hear me? Manjeeri?
Mom, but you told this chapter only.
No, ma'am, on 9th chapter.
The next one.
Ma'am, you told chapter 9.
Mom, but 9 chapter is so not there.
What? It is there?
Ma'am,
Yes,
it
ma'am,
is there.
Yes, ma'am, it is there.
Sorry. Mom, I just mixed up the starting pages.
Okay, fine. Let's get started. It's a very wonderful chapter. Okay, you'll enjoy reading this chapter. This chapter is about the religious ideas which are prevalent or which came out during the medieval period. The two main movements which we are going to talk about in this chapter are the Bhakti movement and the Sufi movement. Okay, kids?
Sufis.
Right? You might have heard the names of Sant Kabir, Guru Nanak Ji, Vasco da Gama. Have you heard these names?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Vasco da Gama
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
Portuguese traveler
Vasco
ma'am,
da
who
Gama
found
was
the
round.
ocean route for India from Portugal.
Who was Sant Kabir?
Ma'am, he was a writer.
He was a saint, right?
Yes,
Guru Nanak Ji,
ma'am. Ma'am, people are like
Guru Nanak Ji,
Ma'am, he was. Ma'am, he is the
Ma-
god of.
the founder of Sikhism, right?
the founder of Sikhism.
Do you know who brought Christianity to India?
Ma'am, Jesus.
Who brought Christianity to India?
Ma'am.
Ma'am, these Arabic.
No.
Ma'am,
was-
these
It was Saint Francis
Uh,
Xavier, right?
movement.
Saint Francis
What?
Xavier brought, yes, it was Saint Francis Xavier who brought Christianity to India. Okay, before his arrival,
Ma'am.
Christianity was not there in India.
Ma'am, before the British only.
Yeah, before the British he only came. Okay, right? Shall we-
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, let's get started. So children, we have to begin with Sufism. Have you heard the term Sufism ever before?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, Sufi traders.
The Sufi traders, right? Sufi traders, and they were Sufis, also the people who used to pray God, who used to wear like these long white skirts sort of stuff, white kurtas, skirt style kurtas, long white cap, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You might have seen their dances as well in various songs. Have you seen? Okay, Charlie.
What?
Sufis. Yes, Paridi, read about the Sufis. What the Sufis is about.
Sufis.
Okay, ma'am. The term Sufi is derived from the Arabic word suf,
Derived, not
which
divert. It is derived.
okay, ma'am. Derived from the Arabic word
Derived.
suf.
Paridi, derived.
Paridi ma'am is saying that you are reading derived
The word is
like that.
derived.
It's derived.
Ma'am, maybe Sufi, it is like a caste or some. This
Ma'am, it's a
nothing.
movement from which ma'am the
Movement.
quality is given to all the religions.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
Paridi.
Ma'am, Paridi got disconnected.
Ma'am, we are just starting, a chapter is complete, you are discussing and we are starting new chapter. Ma'am, after completing chapter, can we do some activity of that related to
We'll do
the
beta.
chapter?
Actually, I was planning an activity, but then I realized that we have to finish the syllabus as well.
Ma'am, you will tell the activity, we just like will like
That is the kind of plan activity I'm planning for, which you can do by
command just बैठा के रखेंगे. मम्मी नया वर्ड सीखा था. I remember.
right. Vrinda, read Sufi.
Ma'am, which one can you repeat?
Please, page number 56.
Sufis.
Yes. The term Sufi is derived from the Arabic word suf, which means wool. Some scholars are of the opinion that the word Sufi is derived from the word Safa, which means purity. Sufism is a mystic traditional tradition of Islam. It was a reform movement within Islam with an emphasis in love and compassion towards all human beings.
Stop here, Vrinda.
Thus,
It is Islam. Its emphasis. Okay. Compassion. Pronunciation. Compassion. Emphasis. Okay, beta? Read it again. Read it from the Sufi objective.
the Sufis rejected the elaborate rituals and codes of conduct prescribed for the Muslims. It emphasized on personal devotion and love for God. The followers of Sufism followed the Sufi path called Tariqa under the guidance of the Fir.
Peer. Stop here, beta. Have you heard the term Peer? Peer Baba. Suno? People go to Peer Baba.
Ma'am, not Peer Baba, but Peer.
Peer, right? Peer Baba bhi kehte hain. Basically, Peer refers to the gurus, the religious leaders. Okay. So the term Sufi is derived from Arabic term Su, which means wool, whereas there are few scholars which believe that this term has been derived from the term Safa, which means purity. Okay. And it is a very mystic tradition of Islam. Like very many people have left, the people who have started adopted Sufism, they were Islamic people only first. They adopted Sufism, they left all sorts of comfort and pleasure of their lives, right? It was a reform movement within Islam with an emphasis on love and compassion towards human beings, right? They wanted to bring some changes within Islam. Islam में ही कुछ changes लाना चाहते थे. For that they started this movement. Okay. And they have laid emphasis on love and compassion towards all human beings, right? These people rejected the elaborate rituals and codes of conduct prescribed for Muslims. See, everywhere the thing is same. The way Buddhism and the Jainism said that we do not need to do elaborate rituals. People, denied the same thing adopted by the Brahmins in the Varna system, and the same thing has come in Sufism. They also rejected these, and no, these are not required, and that's what we need to remember. The God is not asking you to keep bending your head, keep bowing in front of Him and standing there all the day. No, the God is not asking you to spend huge amount of money to showcase your devotion for God. No, God is just saying, if you really believe in me, just remember me by your heart. Right? Isn't it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it
yes, ma'am.
emphasized on personal devotion and love for God. The followers of Sufism followed the Sufi path called Tariqa and the guidance of the Peer. किसकी guidance पे? Peer की. The hospice or Khanqa was the center of Khanqa, we call it. The Khanqa was center of the activities of Sufi order, which means it was a Khanqa only where the Sufis used to impart their knowledge to their disciples, right? It was a place where Peer or the Sufis imparted spiritual training to his disciples or Murid. Murid means
Who are the followers of faith? Like
ardent followers.
they are following the guardians. Like
You people are my disciples. Are you?
Yes, ma'am, students.
Are you my disciples?
yes, ma'am, the teacher and students.
Do you follow what I say?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Yes,
Do you walk
ma'am, we do. But
do you believe me
the
when I say
50-50.
something is wrong and something is right? Right? That's what these people were doing. Okay. So yes, these khankas were supported by endowment and charity. Basically, people used to come here. They used to give a lot of what do we call? They say charity.
Ma'am, have you seen the Khakra Nadi? Ma'am, in Pilibhit. Okay, ma'am, there only one blue color khanka is there. Where when I live in
There are many
Pilibhit, in
khankas in
front of my home
my house
only.
as well.
Yes, ma'am, in front of my house only in Pilibhit.
Nice. It's a khanka, very famous khanka of Bareilly. Khanka in Yazia. It's very famous. So it's near my house only. And people have blind faith there. Like there are few festivals on this people. And you know what the best part is? It's not only the Muslims who go there, who visit these khankas. The people of all religion, the Hindus, the Christians,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody goes there. Right? That's the beauty of it. So the earliest Sufi saint to settle in India was Al-Hujiri. Al-Hujiri was the author of Kashiful Mahbub, a famous Persian treatise on Sufis. Treatise means?
Ma'am, traders.
No, it's given in the book. Read it. The meaning of treatise. Found it?
Ma'am, treatise, yes, ma'am. A long piece of formal writing on a particular subject.
Right. Okay, so he basically wrote on Sufism. So a number of Sufi silsilas became popular in India during the Sultanate period. Do you remember the Sultanate period? You have read about the Delhi Sultanate, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the chief among them were the Surawardi and Chishti silsilas. ये दो बहुत famous रहे थे, right? The Surawardi silsila was a major order of the Sultanate period, and its founder in India was Sheikh Bahuddin Zakaria. Who was the founder? Sheikh Bahuddin Zakaria, and he built one of the oldest khanqahs in India at Multan, during the Sultanate period. Punjab, Sindh, and Bengal became the three prominent centers of the silsila. Okay, kids?
Okay, ma'am.
Sanya, sit properly. Hand down. Okay? Right? Now, after that, we had Chishti silsila. Have you heard of this person? Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti Dargah. Have you heard of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Where is it, Sanya?
Ajmer.
Huh?
Ma'am, was I right?
Where? Ajmer.
Yes, ma'am, Ajmer.
Right? Yes. So Chishti silsila was introduced in India by Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti. He came to India at the time of Gori conquest and finally settled in Ajmer. वो India कब आए थे? Gori conquest के time पे, and later on he settled in Ajmer. Who settled in Ajmer, children? Zehra? Who settled in Ajmer?
Ma'am, like the dargahs and
Who
Khwaja
settled there?
Muinuddin.
No. Harshdeep, who settled in Ajmer, beta?
Ma'am, Chishti.
Yes,
Raja
Harsh's answer is also correct. Yes, Harsh. Complete your answer, Harsh.
Ma'am,
Zurga is it?
Khwaja
Muinuddin
Muinuddin
Chishti,
Chishti.
right? Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti. He settled in Ajmer. That's why his dargah is also made there. Okay. So he won the respect. The best part about him was he won the respect of both Muslims and non-Muslims,
Hindu.
right? So it was not only the Muslims who used to respect him. He won the respect of both Muslims and non-Muslims.
I'm non-Muslim.
Right, his tomb at Ajmer became a famous center of pilgrimage in the later centuries. What do we mean by center of pilgrimage? We have read this, right? Pilgrimage,
Yes,
what does
ma'am.
it mean? Tell me.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, like we can say like a lead.
Kids, we have read about pilgrimage towns. What is pilgrimage?
ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
pilgrimage,
Ma'am, the Makkah and all.
ma'am,
A
temple towns.
religious tour, a religious trip is known as a
The
pilgrimage.
religious tour, yes. Ma'am, temple towns, we remember by that name. Ma'am, the religious towns.
Right? So yes, people used to come to Ajmer because to visit Ali Din Chishti's Dargah. That's how it became a place of famous center of pilgrimage. The Chishti rituals, attitudes, and practices made it an essential Indian silsila. They treated the rich and the poor alike and adopted the attitude of religious tolerance towards the non-Muslim population of India. Okay. The other Sufi silsilas were Firdausi, Kadri, Shiktari, and Kalandri. Right? These were the other few silsilas which got importance later on. Okay. Now, what were the features of Sufism? Now we'll see that how pretty it was. First of all, though, they expressed their love towards God through music, poetry, and prose instead of showing it through money, power, and rituals. Right? That's the best part.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what we need to learn, right? Next is they organized into various orders of silsilas. A peer or guru used to be there who guided and instructed disciples on the path of Sufism. He was always there to tell them that this is the right path which you need to follow. Right? Sanya, read.
Ma'am, from features of Sufism.
Till which feature have
Ma'am,
I
from
read?
here.
Please tell me that.
Ma'am, peer.
Hmm?
Ma'am, you have
Ma'am, the
read the
peer,
first.
guru guided instruction. Ma'am, first one, peer one.
Read the next one.
Okay, ma'am. A Khanka was the center of the activities of a Sufi order. It was the place where Peer imparted spiritual training to his disciples.
Right? A Khanka was the center of the activities of a Sufi order. Like Sufi order की activities का center used to be the Khanka, and it was a place where the Pir imparted spiritual training to his disciples. It was at the Khanka where the Pir used to sit and give teachings to his disciples. Right, kids? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have to read
Yes,
the
ma'am.
role that Sufism played. What role Sufism played in the society? Okay, and Harshdeep will read it.
Role of Sufism. Sufism played an important role
Harsh, but your
in
voice
the
is very low. Can you please speak a bit louder?
role of Sufism. Sufism played an important role in the society. The Chishti saints helped in creating a situation in which people belonging to different classes and religious communication could live in harmony. The Khankas helped promote peace and harmony. The dargahs of Sufi saints become pilgrim centers for people of all castes and religions. The Khankas also played the economic role. Some of them undertook the cultivation of wasteland, others were involved in the construction of buildings, both of the religious character and public utility. They also planted gardens. The institution of the Khanka played an important role in the process of urbanization, the annual Ursi festival.
Stop here. Okay. So Sufism played an important role in the society. Sufism has played a very major role in the society, right? The Chishti saints helped in creating a situation in which people belonging to different classes and religious communities could live in harmony. They could live together happily. Communities could live in harmony, and the Khankas helped to promote peace and harmony. They have also promoted peace because people from various religions, castes used to come to the Khankas, right? Used to get the teachings of the, what do we call, of the peers, right? And dargahs of Sufi saints became pilgrim centers for the people of all castes and religions. It was not only limited to, better you do not need to move like this, Sanya. What is wrong with you today? Huh? You're chewing something, you're moving like that. That's not right. That's not the way to sit in a class, beta. Right? Okay. Now the Khankas played an important economic role as well, because some of them started doing cultivation on the wastelands. Then others involved in the practice of constructing buildings of religious importance and buildings for public use as well. They also planted gardens, and the institution of Khanka played an important role in the process of urbanization. Have you heard of the festival called Urs? You know what a Urs,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Memorable.
Basically, Urs is the annual festival on
Ma'am,
which
it's
we
a group.
commemorate the death of the spiritual master, right? Now, because of this, on this festival, people visit the dargahs and all, right? Again, and when they visit there near the dargahs, there used to be a lot of small shops. It looks like a fair, right? Mele jaisa. It looks like a fair. So people now, obviously, when there's a fair, people will set up their shops and all. If their shop set up, they'll put up handicraft items there, and the other people, visitors, will obviously buy them. That's why it led to the growth of, you can say, trade, commerce, and production of local handicrafts. Yeah.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
Please see to it once, have a look at it once, and let me know if you have any doubt, or we can begin with the next topic.
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am, no
like,
doubt.
can you tell something about silsilas?
Silsilas were the orders which these people have, no, in Sufism. Like Hinduism has caste, right? Like if we talk about that, let's talk about Jainism. In Jainism is also divided into Shvetambras and Digambras, right? Remember?
Ma'am, silsila like situation or something.
Yes. It was basically a chain connecting various leaders, you can say. Okay. It was a link. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
So, shall we
Yes.
begin with the next one? Okay, children. So, as you know, we have completed with the Bhakti movement, with the Sufi movement. Now we have to begin with the Bhakti movement, right? So, now the topic is Nanas and Alvars. Any idea about what these alien names are for?
Ma'am, they're South Indian.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
What?
Ma'am, these both plays an important roles of Bhakti
These are
movement.
group
Ma'am,
of
I
people,
remember
right?
that Narayans
These
and
were
Alvaras.
these were saints. Who were these? These were saints. The Nayanas were known as the saints of Lord Shiva, and whereas the Alvars were known as the saints or the devotees of Lord Vishnu. Okay, yeah. So in South India, the Shaiva Nayana saints and the Vaishnava Alva saints played an important role in spreading the doctrine of bhakti among different sections of society. Clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Right? Many of these saints came from the lower caste and some were women. What size to say like the saints say like this is a very big thing. That many saints only came up from the lower caste, a caste which has already went through a lot of discrimination. Now it's from leaders, religious leaders also came from these caste only, and they spread their message and composed their songs in Tamil, not in Sanskrit. Can you tell me why? Why did they not opt for Sanskrit and why did they opt for Tamil?
Ma'am, because they are from Tamil. Ma'am, because Sanskrit was ma'am used in early like ma'am, it was used
If
very
we are
earlier.
talking of Sanskrit, right? So we need to realize one thing. Yes, Karidi, can you tell me why they not use Sanskrit, why they use this thing called Tamil? Tell me. Karidi, Brinda.
Ma'am, are you calling someone?
Yes, Zara. Please tell me. Why did they
Yeah, ma'am.
not spread their message through Sanskrit? Why did they opt for Tamil?
Ma'am, may I
Or
try?
ma'am, maybe they didn't know about Sanskrit.
Didn't know about Sanskrit.
Means ma'am, they didn't study Sanskrit.
No,
Ma'am, because according to them, the Tamil was born from Sanskrit.
the reason being that Sanskrit was a difficult language which only the preachers, like only the religious leaders or the gurus or the Brahmins were aware of, right? The people of the lower varna, the normal people, especially if we talk about in southern India, people were not at all well versed with Sanskrit. So that is why when these people wanted to tell the people what is the right way of worship, right? People were doing bhakti in a wrong manner. They were started going in a wrong manner. Okay, so these people
Yes, ma'am, according to them, ma'am, like they think that Tamil was derived from Sanskrit.
yes, basically the reason they preached in Sanskrit in Tamil because they wanted the people to understand what they want to tell them, right? For example, if I started teaching you from tomorrow in German, will you be able to understand anything?
Ma'am, we
No,
will
ma'am.
learn from you.
You will be not be able to understand something only, anything only. If you have not learned German, I'm not telling you that I'll start teaching you German. I'm saying if I start teaching you SST in German, will you be able to understand? For example, if I start teaching it to you in Sanskrit as well, then also you will not be able to understand because
Ma'am, we will able to.
you're not well versed with the language, right? So that is why they taught them in Tamil. They preach it in Tamil so that the normal people can understand what the saints are trying to tell them. Okay, cool, right? So all these gave the Bhakti movement a popular character. Next, we have the Bhakti movements during the Sultanate period. Yes, Sarah, read.
Yes, ma'am. Bhakti movements during the Sultanate period. They arose during the Sultanate period, another wave of Bhakti movement in North India, popularly known as Vaishnava Bhakti. It was different from the earlier South Indian Bhakti cult in many ways.
See, now what happened is that there was during the Bhakti, like another Bhakti movement started during the Sultanate period in northern India. And the movement it started in northern India was very different from the one which was started in southern India. Right? Vaishnav Bhakti means the Bhakti of
Ma'am Vaishno Devi.
Vaishnav means the Bhakti of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am Vishnu.
So Ramananda was the most prominent scholar saint of Vaishnav Bhakti in the northern India during this period. He belonged to the late 14th and early 15th century. He lived in South India in the early part of his life, but later settled in Banaras. Where did he settle? He settled in
Ma'am Banaras.
Banaras, right? He lived in South India, but later settled in Banaras, and he is considered to be the link between South Indian Bhakti tradition and the North Indian Vaishnav Bhakti. He was the one who linked both of them, right? In the North India, however, Vaishnav Bhakti cult acquired a more popular base. It became very popular in Northern India, and that too only during the Mughal period. Tulsidas championed the cause of Ram Bhakti, while Surdas and Mirabai and many others popularized Krishna Bhakti. So there were different saints who were popularizing the bhakti of different gods, right? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Then there was another person named as Ramanuja. He was the earliest proponent of the bhakti cult.
Ma'am,
in
he
South
was
India.
a mathematician. Ma'am, Ramanuja.
Ramanuja's name, beta.
Yes, ma'am. He
Oh,
was
the
in.
mathematician. Yeah, that was different, right? So Ramanuja was the earliest proponent of bhakti cult in South India. He drew up his teachings from Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. What was Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita?
Ma'am, Upanishad is a what we can say. Ma'am, it was a
Holy books. Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita were the
Ma'am, the
holy
holy
books. Yes, Zara. Holy books of
Ma'am, can
Hindu.
we say they were like Bibles?
What beta?
Ma'am, can
Ma'am,
we say
there
they
is a
were like Bibles?
Different word you cannot say. Bible is a different book itself, beta. Bible is the holy book of Christians.
Ma'am, just like the same. Can we?
Yeah, like not it's their
like
same.
it is
They are the
related to
holy
the
books, right? But yes, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Vedas, Ramayana, Mahabharata. These are the holy books of Hinduism.
Ma'am,
Quran is the holy
Bhag-
book of Sufism, right? Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of Sikhism, and Bible is the holy book of Christians,
ma'am, Christian.
right? Now, so basically, he taught in the language of the people, of the common people, and soon a number of people became his followers. Again, Ramanuja opted for the same trick. He also preached in the language of no common people so that they can understand it, right? Isn't it? So
Yes, ma'am.
Vallabhacharya, a Telugu Brahmin and an important saint of the Bhakti movement in the state of Gujarat, in many significant ways, the Vaishnava Bhakti in Bengal was different from its Indian counterpart in the older and Indian Bhakti movement. Then there was another religious leader named as Chaitanya, was the prominent Vaishnav saint of Bengal who
Or
popularized
he was from
Krishna
Bengal, I
Bhakti
think.
in many parts of India, right? Vaishnav saint means he was a part of the Vaishyas, the group, right? So he popularized Krishna Bhakti. He disregarded all distinctions of caste, creed, sex, and gave to give a popular base to Bhakti. He was like, nobody, Krishna has not said that if you are black, if you are white, if you are a girl, if you are a man, if you are a Brahmin, if you are a poor, liberal, it doesn't matter. Krishna ji preaches like loves everyone. That's how he got a stronger base for Krishna Bhakti. That's why the followers of Krishna grew ardently. His followers belonged to all castes and communities. One of his most famous disciples was Haridas. And do you know who was Haridas? Haridas was a Muslim,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Haridas was a Muslim and he was a preacher of Lord Krishna. Okay. He popularized the practice of Sankirtan or group devotion singing accompanied by ecstatic dancing. You know, the singing like bhajans and dancing. They popularized all these things. Like if you have seen, if you go to Vrindavan, right, and Mathura, you'll see people there dancing in the temple, singing songs in the temples, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is still practiced. Next, if we talk about Chaitanya's movement, however, a great impact on Bengali society, disregard for caste distinctions in the spirit of devotional singing promoted a spirit of equality in Bengali life. That's how people started treating everybody as equal, right? Now, in Bengal, in Puri, Odisha, his movement became popular in these places. His followers were not always Kauri Brahmins, but his followers also included common people, which was the best part, right? Whereas the Veda, the Varnas have suggested that no, only Brahmins are supposed to be close to God, these saints broke those stereotypes and they told that no, Everyone, each one of us can pray to God and can be the favorites of God. Right? The Roach in Bengali propagated his bhakti and looked upon Chaitanya as the living Krishna. Okay, and who got Radha and Krishna in one body. Right? So people who became so devotee of Chaitanya that they started telling him that oh he's a person, he's a no, you can say he's the one who has came to earth in the form of Krishna and Radha both in one body. Like other Vaishnav Bhakti movements, in the Maharashtra Bhakti tradition drew basic inspiration from Bhagavad Purana. Addition, however, also influences by the Saivya Nanpanthis. With whom? With the Nanpanthis, who were quite popular in the lower caste of the Maharashtrian society during 11th and 12th centuries and composed their verses in Marathi. Now again, you can see one thing is common everywhere, children. These saints have always been preaching in the language of the
Ma'am, their religion.
no
Ma'am, place.
place in the region, language of the people, so that the people can understand it.
Understand.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So, Janeshwar was the pioneer Bhakti saint of Maharashtra. He wrote an extensive commentary on Bhagavad Gita, popularly called Janeshwari. This was one of the earliest works of Marathi literature and served as a formation of Bhakti ideology in Maharashtra. He has written many hymns and abhangs. Hymns means
Ma'am, what?
what is the meaning of hymns? HYMS.
Hymns? Ma'am, where it is written?
Yes, Sanya. Yes, Sanya, tell me.
Ma'am, where it is
Okay, ma'am.
written?
Maybe it
Hymns,
means
it's
like
called hymns.
at the back of an animal, like
Hanji?
Limbs. Ma'am, LIMBS, limbs.
No, HYMNS, hymns.
ma'am, ma'am, where is it written? H,
Can you see,
ma'am,
you can see it on the screen. Can't you see the screen, kids?
yes, ma'am, I'm got it. Ma'am, it is hymns. Okay, ma'am, I thought it's hymns. Now, ma'am, maybe its meaning is
Ma'am, HYNMs. HYNMS.
HYMNS.
Ma'am, in Hindi we can say to that like bhajan karna or
Kind of bhajans, right? So he taught that the only way to attain God was bhakti, in which there was no
Ma'am,
place to
religious
caste
life.
distinction. He taught people that if you are being distinctive regarding the caste, and then you think that you can attain the bhakti of God, then you cannot do. God has told us to treat everybody as equal. That's what these saints have preached all over the country, right? Namdev is considered to be the link between Maharashtra Bhakti movement and North Indian monotheistic movement. His bhakti songs have also been included in Adi Granth and other popular prominent bhakti saints of Maharashtra were
Excuse me, ma'am.
and Tukaram. And other prominent of prominence of bhakti were Kabir, Mirabai, and Guru Nanak. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, as just now you said the chorus says no distinction between the any people. So why we are doing it with the poor people and with the rich people?
Why? Like nobody has said it to do it, but then humans are doing it by themselves. We should not do it.
Yes,
That is why the
ma'am.
government has also banned it now. The government has also declared you cannot distinguish between people on the basis of their caste, creed, and color. That's why we have got democracy, in which everybody has got equal share in decision making. Everybody has got equal worth instead of their caste, creed, and color. Right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is what all about it. Now we'll study the next like about Kabir from tomorrow because only 1 minute is
Okay,
left.
ma'am.
Right? Please go through this much. Read it till here. Tomorrow come up with the doubts if you have any. Otherwise, we'll try to finish on this chapter tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay?
ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, clear? Right now you can see through it and please let me know if you have any
Yes,
doubts.
ma'am.